In this video, I want to show you how the Bible browser tool works. It's one of the most powerful features in Logos Bible software, and it does a wide variety of tasks. It takes all the things about the Bible and it lets you see the information in a different way that I think is helpful. Up here on the top left hand side, you can choose your translation. I've got the NASB, but any translation that you've got in the Bible that is linked to the data set information, the background information that makes Logos Bible software so powerful is going to work in this tool. You also have your visual filters, which we'll come back to in just a moment, and you have your factbook tags and visual filters. You can take those on or off as you please, and then you can see the verses by verse or pericope. So let's say we want to see every verse that has something to do with Jesus in the verse. All we have to do is come here to the find box right here and just type in Jesus. And notice I've not hit enter. I've just typed in the word Jesus. And this menu on the left-hand side has changed. And it has all these different options related to Jesus. So when it comes to people, we can make sure that it is Jesus. That's who we're going to choose. And they've got people related to Jesus and stories about Jesus within that. But we're wanting to look at just verses that have to do with Jesus. And so we have here different sections over here, everything from Bible books to literary types to people to places to things and events. And let's say we want to look at the miracles. So we've got miracles right here on the left-hand side, and we're going to say type of miracle. And we want to see all of the healing verses, the healing miracles that have Jesus doing Jesus in those verses. And so here we've got verses like Matthew 4:23, Jesus was going throughout all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and healing every kind of disease and every kind of sickness among the people. And so you have a great option here to see these verses about healing with Jesus in them. And when you go to the right hand corner up here with the three dots, you're even able to save these into a passage list that you can come back to later. So you could have a passage list of all the different times that Jesus has healed something. Also, you can have your visual filters. So I have anytime a promise is marked within the text, I have that as a visual filter. And so right here in Matthew 8:7, it's a promise. Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. That's a promise. And so you get a lot of information here within the text. Let's say we want to find every time that Jesus asked a question. So I'm going to come up here and still get rid of that one that says people, Jesus, and that one that says healing. And we're going to just type in Jesus again, but we're going to look at a different list. We're going to look at a different option. So we've got people, which makes sense. But when we come down, we're going to find participants, census, but right here, reported speakers, and the first one is Jesus. So when I click on this, now we have all the different verses that have Jesus speaking. Now let's say we want to find where Jesus asks questions, anytime that Jesus asks a question. So yes, again, I'm going to come to this find box, type in question, and then we get all of the different verses related to Jesus and questions. So we have different people and events, participants, reported speakers, addressees, and we're going to come down here to these two options. We have informative information question and also just a question. When I hover over one of these, it's going to give me a card that describes what that is that we might look for. So for an information question, it says an information question is a specific speech act which directly states that the speaker lack a piece of information. And it has the search syntax there for Logos 9, so Logos 10 would automatically update that. But an example would be, Jesus said, who touched my garment? So it's an information type question. We also have just question that is labeled a little bit differently. The speaker is making an inquiry. The answer expected by the speaker is not known. We have a question, yes, the speaker is making an inquiry. and the answer expected by the speaker is in the positive. And then we have the speakers making an inquiry, the answer expected by the speakers in the negative. So a lot of options there for our purposes. Let's click on this question no right there. And so we've got every time that Jesus has asked a question and he knew that the answer was going to be no, almost like a rhetorical question. And looks like we've got from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All four Gospels have this kind of question in them. This is a great tool, and in this video we don't have time to go through all the different things that you can search for within the Bible browser, but it really will open up the Word of God. I encourage you to open up this tool and play with the different options on the left. We could even go here to the right and change from verse to pericope. Then we've got all the different paragraphs, the pericopes, the sections related to what we're looking for. And if you're pretty new to Logos or an experienced Logos user, the Bible browser tool is a great way to find what you're looking for when you might not be able to know the syntax, recall the syntax, or the search syntax is going to be almost too complicated to do. The Bible browser comes to the rescue. It's one of my favorite tools in Logos Bible software, and it's going to add to your ability to study the Word of God.